Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Decent Wrestling Show. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. On today's episode, again, we'll have a Stardom review on the 2nd of October show, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Nxt Uk stuff, and I'm going to hit on other topics, including the draft, the Jungle Kiona news, and some Actress Girls stuff as well. So let's get right into it. We're going to kick off with the draft news. We'll kick off with NXT 2.0 from last week, because that was the oldest news. So we opened the show with Hit Row, cutting a great promo, a lot of rhymes to fit their characters, and they set up their first match, which was B-Fab versus Elektra Lopez. B-Fab, she's got tons of personality, not a great wrestler at all. In fact, she's quite horrible in the ring. She did get better as the match went on, but she's not the greatest in the ring. Maybe she'll improve over time, but right now, quite hard to watch her in the ring. But Elektra Lopez looks good. Looks like she could be something in the future, so that's good for her. The match was what it was. They used the gimmicks of the no disqualification to make it at least, a decent match. One person who stood out for me was Zion Quinn. He looks like he could be really good. He has a cool look about him. He looks like he could be a star in the future, and he has some cool moves, and he beat Oni Lorcan. A big win for him. Huge win for him. And he really impressed me with his moveset. So expect to see big things from Zion Quinn down the line. Also, the tag division in NXT 2.0 looks sick. Some great teams in there. MSK, great champions. I still don't get why they got booed in NXT, with Full Sail. It's MSK. They've been great since they came into NXT. They've not really, changed much. They're just themselves, and they're really good at it. Then you have Mello and Trick Williams, who, again, really enjoying them two together. Then you have the grizzled young veterans, who are terrific heels, easily hateable, and perfect to go against MSK, that pure babyface versus pure heels. And then you have Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs, who are starting to find their characters and playing them well. So that's good to see that they're already developing within 3 weeks. They're developing their characters, because the first time we saw them, they were just generic tag team with some cool moves. A little bit of potential I saw in them. But after a few weeks, they're really starting to develop their characters a lot more, which is good to see. Then we have a really great match, 3 3/4 for this one. It was the women's tag titles. Io Shirai and Zoe Stark, who worked really well as a team in this match, took on Toxic Attraction. Really good stuff. Fun, action-packed, 10-minute match. Great. Really, Zoe Stark really shined for me. She is a really good performer. It's sad she goes under the radar thanks to Io, but Zoe Stark is great in her own right. She really shined in this match. And yeah, really good stuff. Definitely go check this match out if you can. Andre Chase.
Did somebody say Andre Chase?
Got beat by Boa, but he did make me laugh again, so that's 3 weeks for free for Andre Chase.
Did somebody say Andre Chase?
Can he make it 4 next week, or on this week, technically? We'll see. But really enjoying Andre Chase as usual.
Did somebody say Andre Chase?
Roderick Strong defeated Grayson Waller. Solid match. Good stuff. Grayson Waller I don't think he really got enough in there to really show what he's capable of. But he's solid in the ring, so he's not, the drizzling shits or anything. He looks solid in the ring. Seems like a nice guy, but I'm going to need to see more of him to really develop a full opinion. Lash Legend debuted her talk show. It wasn't anything of note. The only good thing, though, is that it was a talking segment that was not in the ring. About damn time. And then we ended the night with Raquel Gonzalez beating Frankie Monet in a short little match. Nothing too special. But the good thing is that Toxic Attraction took out Raquel Gonzalez afterwards, seemingly setting up Mandy Rose to become champion soon, which I am all down for. Mandy Rose has been brilliant since she's debuted this new look. Toxic Attraction look like they're going to be a big part of NXT 2.0 and a great heel faction. And I'm really going to be happy when Mandy Rose wins the NXT Women's Championship and hopefully holds it for a decent time and then drops it to Saray next year. You know? Because what was the first time we saw Mandy Rose in NXT was with Saray. So, could come full circle eventually. But yeah, I'll be really down for Mandy Rose becoming NXT Women's Champion. I'm all for it. I think she's playing the role perfectly. And it'll be good for her. I think she's a talented woman.
Choco in the mint.
NXT UK. There was 3 really good matches on this show. NXT UK hitting out of the park again. They will have fans back actually on October 14th, which is really cool to see. So hopefully I get to see one of their shows eventually. Moustache Mountain put in a terrific match against Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. Terrific match. I think I gave it 4 stars or at least close to 4 stars. But awesome action-packed match. Never slowed down in the 10 minutes. Told a good story, good back and forth. Really shined Smith and Carter and showed that they are a really terrific tag team. And again, Oliver Carter always impresses me. I think he's a terrifically underrated talent. And Moustache Mountain are, of course, a terrific tag team. So a really great match. Match you should go out of your way to see. Charlie Dempsey made his debut. And yep, he can definitely wrestle because this was a really fun squash match. Went about 5 minutes. It was an extended squash match. But he really showed off all that he can do. And yeah, his finisher is absolutely vicious. Vicious. But so he can wrestle and hopefully he gets more character development over time as well to really flesh him out, because if he's just a great wrestler, I'm not going to really care that much. But hopefully, for a first match, for a first impression in his wrestling ability, good job. The main event was Jordan Devlin taking on Joe Coffey. Another great match, 3 3/4, great stuff, and it's the beginning of this feud, which I'm sure will continue over time. But yeah, Joe Coffey always delivers in main events, so great stuff. Again, 3 3/4. Now let's get on to SmackDown. And I'm going to get onto the draft when I talk about Raw. But on SmackDown, we continue to build to Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns as at Crown Jewel for the Universal Championship, which could be match of the year if they're given, let's say, 15 plus minutes to go out there and tear it down. But I'm super excited for Lesnar Reigns. It's going to be mad. Lesnar was on SmackDown, beating up the Usos and Roman again, and then he actually cut a promo, which is very rare. He cut a promo throwing Paul Heyman under the bus and saying basically he's a free agent now, so he can go to Raw, SmackDown, wherever he wants, really, because Brock Lesnar does what Brock Lesnar wants, and to be honest, who's going to argue with that? But I really love the Roman character, that he's sort of becoming more unhinged now. Now that he has a super threat in Brock Lesnar, who's beaten him before, obviously. So that's a big threat to him, and he's sort of crumbling under the pressure a bit and getting more agitated. Really good character work from Roman Reigns. Baron Corbin announced the name of his associate, Madcap Moss, no longer Riddick Moss, Madcap Moss. And I don't really get his character at the moment. It's going to be a few weeks before I can really wrap my head around it. I guess he's just sort of like a jester, really? Is a jester, I think? I think he's supposed to be mad. Not quite sure.
We don't have no idea. We have no idea.
But what I am sure of is that Seth Rollins is freaking excellent. He was terrific in his segment with Edge. Went to Edge's house and just acted like a complete piece of shit, and it was hilarious. He was absolutely perfect. It's on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Seth Rollins invading Edge's home. Hilarious stuff from Seth Rollins. Terrific dirtbag heel he is. And we had a great main event between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Always going to deliver in the ring, and this was no different. Really good stuff. Not a huge fan of Sasha's new attire. I think it looks kind of awful, but it is what it is. But a solid episode of SmackDown with some really nice moments, including that Seth Rollins stuff, and the Brock Lesnar stuff was great as well. Bang! Okay, so before we head over to the Raw review, let's take a look at the WWE Draft 2021. So, moving to Raw, or staying on Raw for some of them, but the Raw roster is now Big E, WWE Champion, Bianca Belair, Future Star, RK Bro, the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Rated R Superstar Edge moves over to Monday Night Raw, Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash, the Women's Tag Team Champions, Keith Bearcat Lee, Ray and Dominic move over to Raw, Austin Theory got called up to Raw, he should do good, Reginald, Akira Tozawa both stay on Raw, Alpha Academy moving to Raw, which is odd because I thought they were going to have a match with the Usos, I guess not. Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz move over to Raw. Doudrop, Drake Maverick and John Morrison stay on Raw. T-Bar, on his own, stays in Raw, possibly going to go back to Dominik Dijakovic maybe. Just Dominik Dijakovic with a little bit more personality mixed in would be good. Nia Jax, R-Truth stay on Raw. Zelina Vega moved over to Raw. Becky Lynch moved over to Raw. Big pull for Raw. AJ Styles no more stay on Raw. Kevin Owens moves over to Raw. The Hurt Business stay on Raw with Karrion Kross, The Miz. Seth Rollins moves over to Raw because of course Becky Lynch is there. Finn Balor moves over to Raw. Just saying Balor Rollins, Balor Styles, both on the same brand. Should be good stuff. Carmella moves over to Raw. Damian Priest, the United States Champion, stays on Raw. Street Profits, they definitely needed to get away from Usos and Reigns because they were just going to lose, so move them over to Raw. Good for them. Alexa Bliss stays on Raw with The Miz. Gable Stevenson, the Olympic gold medalist, has been drafted to Raw. So I don't know when he'll be showing first, but it'll be cool to see him, and it'll be interesting to see how good he is. Jackson Riker, Tamina, Dana Brooke all stay on Raw. Mia Yim is on Raw. Liv Morgan, the Dirty Dogs, and Tegan Nox and Veer on his own are all on Raw. So it looks like both rosters look pretty good, and his is SmackDown one. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, of course. Charlotte Flair's move over to SmackDown with The New Day. Drew McIntyre, a big pickup for SmackDown. Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. Hit Row moved over to SmackDown. They've been called up. Hopefully they do well. Especially Isaiah Scott. That's it. Naomi, who cares? Jeff Hardy over to SmackDown. Aaliyah's been called up to SmackDown. It'll be interesting to see how well she does. Drew Gulak to SmackDown. Mace on his own to SmackDown. We'll see how well he does. Mansoor and Ali and Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo all to SmackDown. So that feud's moved over. Tony Storm stays with Cesaro. The Usos, Sasha Banks, Nakamura and Boogs all stay on SmackDown. Sheamus, big pull for SmackDown. Maybe we'll see a bar reunion. Never know. Shayna Baszler to SmackDown. Ridge Holland got the call up to SmackDown. Did not see that one coming. Interesting to see how well he does. Viking Raiders to SmackDown. Ricochet got moved to SmackDown, which is good for him. Sami Zayn, Natalya, Shotzi Blackheart, Jinder Mahal, Shanky, and last but not least, Xia Li got called up to SmackDown. Hopefully she becomes a future SmackDown Women's Champion. Undrafted. some people were not drafted. Elias hasn't been drafted. I'm not sure when he's going to be returning. Lucha House Party were not drafted as far as I'm aware. Shane Thorne was not drafted. Titus O'Neil, don't know when he's ever going to wrestle again. He wasn't drafted. Asuka wasn't drafted due to her injury. Bailey as well due to her injury. Lacey Evans obviously due to maternity leave. And Eva Marie also wasn't drafted due to a kayfabe injury, I assume. But let's get on to the Raw review. I gave Raw a 7.5 out of 10. It was a solid show. There was nothing abysmal on it, but nothing like amazing. It was just all solid, sort of like 6 and 7 out of 10 stuff. So, the downs was the women's tag titles between Rhea and Nikki and Natalya and Tamina. Didn't really care for it. It wasn't a bad match, it was just sort of there, and I really didn't care for it, so that's a down. Some okay stuff. New Day squashed the Hurt Business after they'd been beaten up, so it's okay, they've been beaten up. Hopefully setting up Woods next week in the King of the Ring. I hope he wins it, it'd be really cool for him. RK Bros, Styles and Omos, they're going to have a tag team match for the tag titles at Crown Jewel. Randy Orton outsmarted Omos and beat up AJ Styles twice with an RKO. It was fine. The women's opening segment with Becky, Charlotte and Bianca was, again, solid stuff. Nothing amazing, nothing bad, just sort of okay. 24/7 stuff, again, got a few chuckles, but nothing amazing. And Damien Priest beat Jeff Hardy in a solid, short little match. Again, nothing out of this world, but just solid. Some ups, though. Here's the ups. Seth Rollins cut a funny little promo. Now he's moved over to Raw. Again, as I said earlier, Seth Rollins is brilliant. The ending, as long with Charlotte and Bianca Belair, had a very good match. And the ending with Sasha Banks beating them all up. Nice hot ending to end the show. Solid stuff there, thumbs up there. Goldberg and Lashley had a fun segment. But Goldberg threatening to kill Lashley. Oh, fair enough. They're going to have a no-holds-barred match at Crown Jewel. Which, a lot of bells and whistles, smoke and mirrors, could be a really good match. All this stuff with Drew and Big E was a lot of fun, and the Dirty Dogs came out. Ziggler rightly pointed out that he helped Big E at the start of his career, and helped Drew at the start of his second WWE run. So he deserves thanks. He's actually got sort of a little point there. He did help them out a lot. And so Big E and the Big Z, Dolph Ziggler, and then Rude says,
"They call me Big Bob." Nobody, not one person calls you that.
Not one person.
Don't you disrespect Big Bob!
best moment in Raw. But eventually they had a tag match, Drew and Big E versus the Dirty Dogs. Really fun match, really good stuff. Yeah, 3.5 stars. Very good match. Fun. And we're going to get Drew and Big E at Crown Jewel, which I expect Big E's going to win, but it's going to be a damn good match. Mansoor and Ali took on Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, and this is about maximising your minutes, because they got about 3 minutes, but they packed a lot into it, and they got a lot of action and a lot of stuff done in that quick time. Again, as Cesaro says, you're given 3 minutes, have the best 3-minute match in the world. And they did a really good job. Shayna Baszler and Doudrop, I thought that was interesting. I thought it was good. Shayna Baszler beat up Dana Brooke and was about to break her arm, but Doudrop stood her ground and saved Dana and stood her ground, and Shayna attacked her. Like, Shayna didn't back off, wasn't like scared. She attacked Doudrop, and Doudrop stood her ground, and Shayna kind of laughed it off. So good little character build there for Doudrop, showing that she's not just like a goofy idiot. Like, she, can be tough as well. And the final up was Austin Theory and Jeff Hardy. Austin Theory came out and wanted a selfie with Jeff, and then beat him up and took another selfie. I honestly don't see where Austin Theory really is going to fit in over the years, but for a first segment, it was quite funny. So he made me laugh, so that's a positive thing. Some other things I want to say is that thank you for 600 subscribers and 200,000 views on YouTube, so thank you for all that. Make sure to check out my Unamanase MV. Of course, my interactions video got more views than the Unamanase one because, okay. I'm not sure how that works, but alright. And now we're going to talk about Stardom, the 2nd of October show. Promos are back. About damn time. We opened with Azumi taking on Waka Tsukiyama. 3 stars, solid match. Azumi won, as you'd expect. Good stuff, good opener. Waka's smile is just infectious. Momo beat Fukugan. I didn't watch it, I skipped it because I don't care about either of them. And I don't want to watch the cringe fest that is Fukugan. And the final 4 matches, I all gave the same rating, 3.25. Good stuff. Nothing amazing though, nothing that stood out for me. Unagi Sayaka and Mai Sakurai. Unagi's not impressed with Mai still, but they hugged after the match, which was a nice moment. But Unagi refuses to admit that she likes Mai. They took on and beat Saki Kashima and Ruaka. Weirdly, Saki Kashima took the pin from Unagi. Well, I guess you don't want to see Ruaka lose just before her title match, I guess. Okay, so that makes sense, looking back on it. But another W for Unagi. And yeah, solid stuff. Mai fits right in. Konami and Starlight Kid defeated Himapoi. Poi took the pin. Doesn't consider what happened next night. It doesn't really matter that they lost Himapoi. But again, solid match. I don't really have any huge memories of it. Again, none of the matches really stood out. Shuri and Maika drew with Aphrodite, and I'm just sick of seeing Utami and Shuri wrestle each other at this point. But again, it was fine. And the main event was Dream H taking on Magma, Koguma and Mayu Iwatani. Koguma pinned Mina because Mina has to take the pin every night for the Cosmic Angels, which is a disappointment. Again, solid match. Nothing really stood out. It was really like a house show sort of thing. But big news regarding Stardom. Jungle Kyona has left Stardom and is now going to be a freelancer. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens to her. Maybe she shows up at Wrestle Princess. Maybe. You never know. But she said she's fine to return and will be returning soon. She works for an advertising agency now. She's a secretary, I believe. So I don't know how often she's going to wrestle or when her next match is going to be. But I guess we'll see what's going to happen with her. Hopefully her matches are able to watch online and not for like really obscure promotions like Wave or something where you can't actually watch the matches unless you're in Japan or go to the venue, go to the actual venue. But Mayu betrayed once again. Poor Mayu. So Stars is down to Mayu, Koguma, Hanan and Saya Ida. One's a teenager, one is injured, so not looking good for Stars. Another note about Stardom is, I swear to you, Waka Tsukiyama and Mina Shirakawa's English is going to annoy the hell out of Una. They did a fun segment on Twitter with Waka and Mina running through the matches for the upcoming pay-per-view for Stardom, and Unagi quote tweeted on a second account that basically, I think it said, at least the translation, the Google translation was, "I don't understand what you're saying." Unagi's amazing on Twitter. She can also sing as well, if you didn't know. Again, go to her second Twitter account and find her singing, because she's actually a really good singer. Some notes about Actress Girls and Choco Pro, and I watched one of the Actress Girls shows from August, I believe. Ami Miura took on Misa Matsui in a very good match. Both of these women are definitely should be big stars within the next 5 years. Ami Miura only debuted in 2020, and she's gotten so good already, and her chops are lethal. And Misa Matsi, I think I've spoken about Misa before. Absolutely phenomenal talent, really smooth in the ring, knows what she's doing. Drop kicks are great. I love her crossbody sort of thing. Just really smooth in the ring, really enjoyable to watch. Got a bright future, she has. And the other match I really enjoyed was me and Ayano Iri taking on Momo Kogo and Momo Tani. Momo x Momo, which is what I call them, never failed to deliver. 3 3/4, great stuff. Definitely go check this match out. Super fun. Again, I really like a match that's comedy at the start for the first minute, and then they get serious and just have a great wrestling match. Really good stuff. And it was a really fun Actress Girls show. One note about Choco Pro is there was a match between Ayano Iri and Unimon, and this really shined, did Ayano Iri in this match. 3 3/4, great stuff. Go check it out on Gato Move's YouTube channel. Really fun stuff, and Ayano Iri is really improving super fast. She really shined in this match, and special cute girl was what she called herself. And she definitely is, and she's a great wrestler as well.
Hello! I'm very special cute girl!
Very true. And Anna is very happy with herself. Oh, duck step. Oh! Stunner! Right on the jaw! And a dropping right on the side of the head!
Unfortunately, she lost to Unimon. Somewhere Rob is smiling. Just a couple other things left to speak about. Marika Kobashi getting ready for Wrestle Princess. I know Nodoka Tenma is going to have a new attire, but Marika Kobashi now has changed her hair from ginger to black hair, and of course it's Marika Kobashi. She looks amazing in anything, so she looks amazing. And I'm going to speak a bit more about Marika in a second. But I also want to take a note to say that on Netflix, Escaping the Undertaker. Of course, I aced it. Definitely go give it a shot on Netflix. Super fun stuff. I want to see more of this. And actually, there was some bits in it with wrestling. I don't want to spoil too much, but with like the Undertaker fighting the New Day. And I want to see stuff like that in wrestling. It was Lucha Underground-esque. Crazy superpowers is what I want to see in wrestling. But I'm going to do a thing called, I haven't come up with a name for it. Maybe someone in the comments can come up with a name for it, maybe. I'm only usually, I can't really think of one. So, Appreciation Corner. But I just asked on Twitter, what is your favourite thing about Marika Kobashi? And here are the responses that I got. I'm not going to read out names just in case they don't want their names read out. Everything, in full capitals. I can definitely agree with that. Spot on with that one, that observation. Her personality in general, she's just a cool ass chick. Yeah, again, 100% agreed with that. She's cool AF. Exactly, personification of coolness, Marika Kobashi. She is a college student, but she doesn't study. I'm sure she studies. I'm sure she does. I mean, she's studying English and French, so, you know, genius Marika. Genius Marika. Her personality, muscle emoji, but actually everything. Yeah, again, agreed with that one. Her look. I love her urban look. It makes her stand out. Again, yeah, Marika Kobashi, very unique to herself. Not many quite like her. She's got a very unique look about her. The sort of hip-hop sort of style, the Japanese hip-hop that she loves. And she obviously loves that culture of Japanese hip-hop and integrates it to her personality and her character. And it's very unique to her, and I think it's great and makes her stand out. Yeah, I agree with that. Her style, her looks, her cuteness, her in-ring performance, everything. Yow. Again, hard to argue with that. And it's why Marika Kobashi is one of my favourite performers right now. Just the uniqueness of her, the cool. She's so cool. Really fun to watch in the ring. I really dig her moveset, her aura, her personality, her charisma as she comes out, just everything screams star. And she should be within 2-3 years. Hopefully she stays healthy and doesn't get injured. 2 to 3 years, I'm hoping she'll be near the top of the card in Tokyo Joshi, or if she leaves and goes somewhere else, she'll be successful, because I think she's got a bright future ahead of her, considering she's only 20 years old at the moment. But just wanted to give some appreciation to one of my favourites in Marika Kobashi. So, that's all we have time for on this episode. So, make sure to again to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And take care. Peace.
じゃあねー。